I am back with another moto vlog. Now, with this, I wanted to talk about my overall experience with having to ride so long. Now, this ride, I want to say I did maybe 130 miles or so. That's round trip between where I live and kind of the area around me, because I really wanted to get a feel for what an actual ride feels like, not just let me run up to the store for 10, 15 minutes. I wanted to be able to be comfortable enough to keep riding around, because I'm still getting used to this bike in comparison to my Ninja 400 that I had. And with that, of course, I have to go out typically early. One, because it's not really hot. And I'm actually wearing my summer jacket finally. It fits way better than I thought it would once I actually got on the bike with it, because it's a small, and then I didn't think it would be small enough, but it's good. I actually get to wear. It's not as meshy feeling as I thought it would be, so I still get that protection feeling. But with this ride, I knew I would start off with, and this is one of those things I always consider now, is fog or the time of day. More specifically, because I have my clear visor on with my pin lock. My tinted visor does not have a pin lock in it. Why? Because they're expensive, and I'm not going to buy another one right now. I brought it with me in my backpack. Weirdly enough, I am more comfortable with my trail bag. It's not even a motorcycle backpack. It's just a trail backpack that I feel way more comfortable. I don't feel as weighed down. And it's just so much easier on your back. Even though this sits up, I can feel it tugging on me. Maybe because I'm not as young as I used to be. But with the ride, it's so much nicer with a more comfortable backpack. My gloves I still really like. Weirdly enough, whatever reason, it's my right hand. I always have to pull my glove down more, or I feel like I'm just driving with like the middle two fingers, but like not even the whole fingers. It's hard to explain, but basically it fits well enough, but I have to always tug the very bottom of my glove when I'm riding as well. It's one of those comfortability things that I was paying attention to as this ride's long, because it is a long ride. And yes, I have stretches to where it is just like this. It's just relatively straight. There's no stop signs. There's no stop lights. There's very little traffic because I always leave around a good time, especially on the weekends. Now, if it was during the weekday, there would be way more traffic. And let me be more specific. There'll be way more impatient drivers around you. Even if the speed limit's 55, like the road I just got off of is, they're probably doing somewhere between 60 and 70 on average on that road just to get here. And it gets to be a little bit nasty with regards to all that. So I like driving like on the weekends, like Friday morning or Saturday morning, before like everybody gets out. Now, when it's really sunny, people get out, it's a little bit later when it warms up. So I try to pick my times well enough. Also, it wasn't raining. It said it was supposed to be cloudy. And the reason I picked this route, more specifically this time, is the sun. I didn't want to ride straight into the sun from here. So I knew if I rode this time of the day specifically, I would be riding away from the sun. Because when I ride to work, basically, it's in my car, though. I have the sun just beaming into my windshield as a whole. But with this ride, it's comfortable. It's not too windy, which I've been on some really windy rides. I mean, you'll see the whole high winds thing, and it makes a difference on such a small bike, because it is still a small bike. It's like 420 pounds. It's a small bike, considering. But with my experience with this bike overall and this ride is that it's really still really comfortable. It's still comfortable. I didn't realize if your helmet has a bunch of vents, pay attention to them, because when I ride, I close all of them, every one of them, because I don't really want the noise or the fog. I didn't realize why my helmet sounded so loud, but I have two vents on the very top that I apparently accidentally opened. Didn't even realize it until I checked it after I got off the bike. and that was the reason why for that. But yeah, noise is a problem too. So if you plan to ride for a while, wear earplugs. I have them, but I didn't wear them this ride. And I've never been on the interstate yet. But with this ride, see where the sun's starting to come out, like over, it has to be maybe 6 o'clock now-ish, 6:30 in the morning. And it's sunny, it's nice. And the warmth brings clear vision for me. For example, like my visor, I said the pin lock. Well, when I ride in the mornings, there tends to be patches of fog. So hopefully the sun will raise the temperature close to the ground to where the fog goes away. And I was doing fine pretty much this whole ride here on this road. I think it was maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes in, maybe, on this road. It's a nice, comfortable ride between 40 and probably 55. Speed limit, that is, not what I was doing. I didn't want to do too much because there are people on bikes and people running, so you can't really go that fast anyway. But this patch of fog just ate me up. And I rode for a while through this fog. My visor's already covered in moisture, so are my glasses. And if you don't know me at all, without my glasses, I am pretty blind as it is. So I'm tipping my head forward some just so I can see over it. I can see the lines as long as it's not dark. I just basically stay in the lines, and I stay close enough to this car to know that what's in front of me. That's how I was riding. Because I'm not going to stop right here, because if I stop here, it's still going to get foggy. So I tried riding it out. Because normally with these Tennessee hills, they just roll, and you have these bowls everywhere to where it just fog, no fog, fog, no fog. That's just how it is, and it's great. But this is kind of inconvenient. And the way the camera looks now is basically kind of how my glasses look, but worse. My glasses are worse. My visor's worse as a whole for this. I didn't panic. Please don't panic. If you need to slow down, slow down. I wasn't going to, just because I trusted my distance with this car in front of me. No lights or nothing like that. So I knew I was going to be able to turn off very soon. See, I can notice the lights from here. But this ride in itself was a giant wake-up call as a whole, because it was good. But riding this long, there's a few things I should have done more. I should have actually probably drank a little bit more water. I was fine, but I was a little tight in my calves and stuff. But it wasn't the end of the world. I wasn't dying. I wasn't really sore till the next day. But I turned off. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. It really wasn't. And you can see how the camera, I didn't touch the camera. That's just because it cleared up. But you can see me taking my glasses off. I will just get off the bike in general, but I still have to clean these off. And I was close to where I was going. It's one more turn, maybe quarter mile up the road, if that, where I was actually stopping. This is Baker's Bluff, I believe, where I stopped at. And it was getting nice. The temperature was like perfect. Once I put the jacket on first, it was a little warm, but right when I started moving, like right now, I'm not even hot in my jacket. I know I'm not hot. I always carry a microfiber cloth in my pocket, by the way. Small one for my glasses, and then if I have my backpack, I bring a big one for my visor. Just because, well, obviously the bugs will be a thing, even if you're not driving in the woods like this. That's just how it is. So it was a nice little break just to get off. Of course, I get right back on. I take a few pictures. And these are those times that it feels awkward. I'm not sure why. If you're riding for a while and then you get off your bike, I always feel weird. Like there's no one around me, but I still feel weird. But this is where I was riding to. Jackson Falls. I ran into so many spider webs doing this, and because I had forgotten. That's one of those things, like when I'm at home, I know I keep like a stick or a broom or something right by the door, because when I leave the house, it's early. It's like before the sun comes up. So I'm just sitting there swatting at spider webs. That's what living in the wood, or at least close by the woods, is like. But this is where I was riding to. And it's one of those things is you can get there And I should have took more time here, but I was kind of on a time crunch. I didn't realize how long I was riding. I was gone probably 3 hours or so from the house. Didn't realize it. Normally my rides are maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes at most. It was worth it. It's quiet. It's not too bad. And then riding back, there's one other thing I can think about that thankfully I didn't catch, was that how the weather changes quickly. Now, I haven't run into rain yet, but when I was headed back, there was patches of rain that had fallen. Why? Because the road's wet. Right here, it's not bad. But you can see once I get farther up the road how moist the road actually is. I hit some patches farther back too as well of wet pavement. And I pay attention to this stuff because I didn't know when it rained. And of course, you don't want to take these turns with strong leans if it just rained. It's very dangerous. You can see how wet the road is, obviously. So I know my bike will stay up more because it's more of a sport tour. It's a sport tour versus just like a super sport position. So I know I could add some little bit of lean. See, I can see that the sun's trying to dry that up. That's a really cool patch, so it's not going to dry as quickly. And I pay attention to this because I ride these roads. And if you ride well enough or enough, then you're going to pay attention to everything in the road, from the tar strips to where's a new pothole. Did they fix this pothole? Is there more potholes? Is there gravel in some random turns? Is there some, as where I live, is there roadkill everywhere? Deer. I know I passed one deer on the right side. There's also typically possums right now. There's a few skunks actually this time of the year. And you pay attention to this stuff because you're on a bike. You're a lot more vulnerable. And I think the best feeling I think I had, besides this breeze right now, like the weather's like perfect after that little bit of rain. This, I think, is one of the best feelings I've ever had, is having to put more gas in my car or in my motorcycle, because normally it might drop 1 bar. This time it dropped 2 bars. It gets really good gas mileage, but for the distance I rode, it was nice. So just being able to fill up all the way, and I always fill up gas before I get home. So then when I can just leave, I just leave. I check my tire pressure and whatnot before I go for a ride. But it was so nice to be able to put more and more gas, because I'm not a person who rides all day. I don't. My kids keep me at home, which is great. So if I don't have time to ride, I don't ride when they're at home. Like when they start school, I'll probably start more vlogging early. But right now, I'm just having fun filling in my ride when I can get my ride in. And this ride was just amazing on my 650. I'm not sure what you guys ride or where you ride, but hopefully you're riding safe and enjoying it. Thank you for watching.